Hello, hello. Happy Friday. And what a Friday it shall be if we get done with this localization stuff. So yesterday, I wrote a tool. I did the skeleton stuff in the morning, and in the afternoon, I wrote a tool that will run everything that we need to do with localization all at once. So now we can run this. No, not this. Where is it? All right, I don't know where it is. Yeah, I don't remember what the command is, but yeah, there's one command that'll do all of these steps that we need to do, and then we should just be good to go. So yeah, let's get to it. So write instructions on how to do this. So manual steps. Yeah, I want to write this in the README here. Okay, so overview. This is a tool for working with. Wait, do we need to merge PO files? I will need to do that, won't I? Oh, darn it. I didn't think about this. Yeah, I don't know why I didn't think about this. Oh man. So we still need the I18N tool from Skeleseller to be used here. Yeah, I only did the yarn spinner stuff. Hey, Magnus. Happy first. Yeah, this is kind of a pain. And yeah, this should be run as part of the new tool. Hey, Cosmic Koi. Hello, hello. All right, so this is a tool for working with. So this shouldn't even be called Yarn Spinner CSV Converter. Or maybe it should, and I run this from something else. I don't know. Hey, Board IT guy. Hey, Matt. 11K 85 commit PR. Open for review. It's Friday. As in you made one, or it's someone else's that you have to review? Either way, that's quite a lot of code. You made one. Okay, yeah. All right, so this is a tool for working with. Maybe we hold off on this until the end. Yeah, I should probably save the instructions for the end. No, you won't see English strings. How do you add a new language? Change the tool of to use Git submodule directory. Indicate when you do this, it was generated. So yeah, we need this thing figured out. I need to answer all the rest of the questions and then all the to-do items that we have. Oh boy. Oh boy. Hey, Steven. Good morning. It's unreviewable. Hmm. I see. Okay. Well then, happy Friday. So yeah, how do we handle pluralization? Oh man. All right, let's look at the plural thing that we have here. Is this what I would use? Pluralizing with plural and ordinal. Yeah. So we could do this, but then this is going to show up in Weblate as this as an input. So I'll need to teach people the plural syntax instead of making a custom one. Oh, thanks for subbing, Cosmic Koi. Happy quarter of a year. Can always contract as a localization specialist. Oh, actually, you know what? I was thinking of writing the script for the video on Monday. Maybe we can get done with a lot of this in the morning and I can just write the script this afternoon. Because I do want to make a video on everything I've learned here. And happy 40 streams, Magnus. All right. Well, fine. I guess let's go do the part that I already know I have to do here, which is go incorporate everything from Skeleseller. How large is this program? Wait, this is the entirety of it? Oh, that's not so bad. Yeah, that's not so bad. New command, system.command line. Did this not use system.command line? No, it probably should have. Consider making the new tool use system.command line. Doesn't really matter. Hey, ORP, is this your personal position to not use AI for game dev, or it's just make it not fun? No, I use AI for game dev. I, so for Skeleseller, it was mostly autocomplete. And when I say mostly, I mean probably like 98% autocomplete. That's all I really used AI for. But for Stuck in a Broken Tutorial, I'm using agents. I'm asking questions. I'm having a refactor. I'm using autocomplete as well. So yeah, like almost all of this tool was written by AI. This is the localization tool. And my general stance is this. I don't want to use it for creative work. So like the localization tool, totally fine. But if it was like coming up with ideas for sub games, or if it was, I don't know, like making art or music, and at least this is my stance for myself. I'm not saying no one should do this differently. It's just like, yeah, I want to use it for grunt work kinds of things and improving our code quality and everything. Yeah, 98% of the AI usage was through autocomplete. Like I use an agent for one or two things. Well, probably more than one or two, but really very few. And that was over the course of 2 years. All right. So yeah, I think we need to incorporate this whole thing. This actually didn't need to do too much because all it's doing is running xgetText and then message merge. Generate PO. Why is that capital S? Merge. Okay, yeah. Hey, Phil. So yeah, we're gonna have strings through Godot. I need to do more research before we can do all this stuff. Just didn't see prompting on stream. Yeah, I don't do it a whole lot. I feel like it's not good stream content, but yeah, I'll do it here and there. It'll probably end up happening today too. Like I haven't had Codex for too long, so you can see the entirety of everything I've used it for. So this is 1 week's worth of usage pretty much. So I don't use it a lot, even off stream. All right, so I think the first thing we need to do is actually update Godot and figure out how they want to collect strings now. Where is it? Godot xgetText. There's some update to Godot that lets you not need to use anything external, I thought. I don't remember though. Yeah, I don't remember. There's some built-in way of collecting up all the strings, right? I don't think I have it. Do I? No. I think it's in a new version. What version am I on? 4.6? Yeah, I think 4.7 might have it. Godot changelog. I see a lot of my comp sci classmates sitting with some AI and LLM full screen, just waiting for it to do its work. Yeah. Interactive changelog. What? Whoa, I didn't know this was a thing. But this is not exactly what I want. I just want the blog post on this. Releases. Pre-release? Yeah, here we go. Okay, so something in here. And this might be a little bit tough to find because there are a lot of 4.7 launches. So let's just click all of them. Actually, it could have been 4.6.2 as well, but I doubt it. It's probably one of those. Yeah. So let's just look for get text now. Oh no. There's some change. I don't know where it is though. Get text. Oh, I know they did something like this. Where is it? Can I sort by when it was? Yeah, last updated. Okay. Have unexpected results. Containing new line or translated. Translation. Fallback from language to country code. Updated. Wait, updated in March. What? That shouldn't be possible. There's something. I'm not making this up. I think. I could have sworn there was a change where now you can. Let me just download the new version of Godot. Yeah, let's just look at the editor. That'll probably tell us what we need. Where's experimental releases. Yeah, 4.7 beta 3. Let's just download this. It's from 8 days ago. I want mac.net. All right, and I think if I open this, I think there's going to be some new tool in the menu. And then we just need to figure out where did I learn about this tool? Because I've never downloaded this before. It must have been in a blog post I read. This might be it. I don't think it was this. No, I don't think it was this. Because this is for their documentation. There's something that the editor itself now lets you do. Let's just open this. So it doesn't really matter what we load. I guess let's load Skeleseller. Oh no, cancel. Okay, never mind. It doesn't matter what I load. All right, let's just make a new project. Test 4.7. One-offs. Edit, sure. Yeah. All right, so I think there's something in here now. There is not. Oh man, I don't know where this was or what it was. I don't see it in here. I could have sworn I read about it. Godot. Or I posted about it somewhere. Like collect all translated strings. I want the documentation for 4.7. Here it is. Yeah, automatic generation. Optional second argument of TR and TRN method. What? Oh, and scripts. Yeah. Yeah. This is what's new, I think. Let me take a look at that, I suppose. So I make a new thing. I attach a script, test.c#. Cool. Now I save this, main. Then I open this thing up. It's going to try to open in a new window, I think. Is it? Yeah, there it is. Trust and open. Yes. New window. New window. Didn't I just say that? Oh, maybe there were 2 of those that tried opening. Yeah, probably. Okay, so let's say we have a ready function here and we do something like gd.print tr hello world. And sure, give it a namespace, I don't care. Now we go launch this. Should just print out hello world. Okay. Hey, Scorbutico. How are you? Is it warm in North America? Europe is boiling. It's probably warm in some parts of North America. It is not currently warm here. We just went on a walk. It is, I forget what the temperature is. I think like, anyway, it's like 10 out right now. Maybe 11. All right, so this printed hello world. Yeah, it's very pleasant here right now. But I'm sure it'll get hot. Just not yet. It's 32. Yeah, that's too hot. It's just too much. Do you have air conditioning or you just have a fan? So if I click generate, what happens here? Test.pot. Neither. I'll buy a fan at some point. Yeah, I think a fan at least is really important. Because, you know, there are like inventions impact by productivity on humanity. And people think about computers and everything. Apparently, it's like a washer or washing machine for clothes and an air conditioner have like the biggest impact. I don't know. Maybe this is some urban myth, but I could totally see if you just lower the temperature of a boiling room by, you know, 5 or 10 degrees, that everyone can just be more productive. So yeah, I think an air conditioner is wonderful. Hey, Strawberry Donut. Live in Arizona. We're expected to hit 104 degrees this week. Yeah, it's it's just too much. And I do wonder if places become unlivable in the next like decade or two, because 104 isn't like, the average person is going to drop dead, but people will die of like heat stroke and heat exhaustion. And yeah, what happens when it's 114? Unfortunately, I'm renting, can't even install AC. Well, they have portable AC units. I don't know if you could do something like that. So yeah, I don't know if you've seen these sorts of things, but yeah, you just connect them to a window. So you don't really install anything. This is just movable. They're somewhat heavy, and they're not that great, but it's better than nothing a lot of the time. Yeah, 15 and 19 here, but cloudy and rainy. Surprisingly warm, all things considered. Yeah, 15 and 19 isn't too bad. Hits 120 during the summer, and by law, you have to have AC in the Phoenix Valley. Yeah, man, that's nuts. Yeah, they come with the figurine of a tiny guy with a red shirt. It's a Mario figurine, but very, very lifelike. All right, I'm beginning to doubt whether I will be able to do all of this in one day. But yeah, let's go take a look. So we should have test.pot here. Did this collect my string? It did. It also collected the project name. Okay, so it looks like this will work. We should test a couple more little things here. But yeah, I think this is new. I don't think Godot, the version I'm on, can do this. Right? If I click localization and add, or template generation add, if I go to source, does it find CS files? Oh, it does. Wait, why didn't we do this then? Maybe it's new in 4.6. Yeah, I don't remember this being the case before this. Godot blog post. Oh, you know what? This is the perfect use of AI because I cannot find this on my own. So I seem to recall Godot adding support for calling xgetText as part of template generation. However, I can't find the blog post talking about this. Which version was this introduced in? I know it was always possible for .tscn files, but I thought support was recently added for .cs files. Yeah, I can't figure this out. So if this just does the search for me, then great. Because I want to find out how reliable is this. Also, is there a better way of doing this? I don't want to have to type in every single script to search through. Like that's where just using xgetText was fine. So presumably if I were to change, let's say this, and I say this is not translated, and then I run this again, this should not appear in the file. There we go. Correct, it does not. Yeah. Aha. Yeah, here it is. It was in 4.6. I thought it was 4.7. That's why I couldn't find it. Wow, I don't know why this page has been so slow today. All right, get text. Localization. Here it is. Read more on this PR. Yeah, so let's see. C# translation calls are now parsed just like GD script. So localized text is collected automatically during POT and CSV exports. It means strings inside TR and TRN in C# will now be picked up automatically. You don't have to manually extract or manage them yourself. Close the long-standing gap. Yeah, and it got 17 upvotes. I would like to modify this probably because we did a lot of stuff here saying, yes, find TR and TRN, but also find translate and translate plural. Why did we do this? And cache translate plural or something? Yeah. Yeah, but no eyeballs. Yeah, I don't think the person ever responded to my other message, my other issue. So can we customize this somehow? Because I kind of doubt that you can. Remaps? I don't think we need remaps here. Yeah, I don't see anything for this. Oh man, I'd really like to do that. Hey, Sarah. How's everyone doing? That's fine. 2 streams from random day. Trying to lock it in the morning, I see. I'm doing pretty well. I have a lot of work to do, though. Okay, so yeah. Generating .pot files from Godot now allows you to provide C# files. However, I think there are some problems here. Yeah, this was announced in 4.6. And here's the PR. So the problem is that I was using multiple translate calls. Can I customize how Godot searches for this? Actually, there were 2 problems. TRN so that it finds all of them. And then the second problem was I wanted to search every single script, not just the ones I specify. Maybe we just don't use this. I mean, we already need an external tool. Maybe it's not even worth looking into this. May not even be worth looking into this because we already need an external tool for Yarn Spinner. And then write notes on how Godot can collect strings for you. Maybe I did write notes on this. Internationalization in Godot. Get text. Finding strings in TSCN. Finding strings in your code base. This PR was, wow, yeah, look at that. Update. Since the notes were written below, this PR was merged. Let's template generation specify C# files, automatically extract strings found in TR translate functions. However, this doesn't seem to be configurable. We sometimes use a wrapper to cache string names that get allocated. Outputs both scene and script in the same POT. Finally, I have to manually specify which CS file. Yeah, okay, so I already wrote all this down. I've done all of this. This is why I'm like, I have a memory of doing this. I even wrote all of this text and just couldn't find it. Yeah. So, yeah, I don't think we use this then. Has anyone commented on this? No. Yeah, no. Okay. Well, all right. At least I learned about it. And we already have notes about it. So I should write this in my high-level notes, like we didn't use this PR because we want to be able to customize this stuff. We don't just rely on Godot via this PR for the following reasons. 1, it's tedious to have to specify every C# file. 2, we use calls other than TR and TRN, e.g. for caching. And 3 is... There was a third reason. No, that's pretty much it. Yeah, cool. Okay, so then great. We figured that out. So I do need the other thing that we used before. Hey, Leo, how you doing? So now we got to merge this tool into the other tool. Oh, my life. Yeah. All right, let's close this. Now let's close this. I'm glad that exists, though, because for a lot of people, that's going to be sufficient. But I don't think it's sufficient for us. Oh, boy. Okay, so maybe what we should do first is set up the GitHub repo and everything. Yeah. Yeah, there's no way to make this easier. Okay, fine. Let's just go do it. So github.com, let's add a new repo. I want to name this sort of like how we named the other one. The other one's called Skeletal Translations. This one I probably will shorten to SIABT translations. And let's just copy everything else we had from over here. Translation files for SIABT. Choose visibility private. Add readme, yes. Add git ignore. Did this have a git ignore? It did for some basic stuff. Well, I'll just add it myself. Yeah, create repository, right? Okay, you know what? I'm just going to write down everything that I'm doing right now because I don't want to forget this. So history of what I've done to set this up. Make GitHub repo. Moving to San Diego. Yeah, hopefully it's a lot cooler. I know San Diego gets warm, but I don't ever feel like it gets super hot. I think it's got nearly perfect weather. Another problem you're dealing with, well enough to figure out if it's useful or not. C# translation parser. What does this do? Godot editor plugin that will look for calls to Godot translation server translate and add them to generated POT files. Oh, cool. Yeah, this would partially solve one problem. Although the code is open source, so I could just change this. How does this work? They use regex for this? That doesn't sound like a good idea. I mean, probably it's fine, but really what they should be doing is searching through the abstract syntax tree so that if something splits across multiple lines, it wouldn't be a problem. But maybe this regex is good enough. I'm not going to try to parse this myself right now. But this just finds the translate calls. What we need to find is all of the different calls that we use so that we could add them. But yeah, I'll put a link to this. Or use a plugin like this. Cool. Yeah. Hey, Killpack. Okay. Okay. So I made the repo, right? Yeah. I got to clone this. But actually, we got to clone this into, like, I never pulled this as a standalone repo, right? I only got it as a submodule. I forgot how I set that up. Yeah, I don't remember how I set that up. So now add that repo as a submodule underneath your res folder. So that, why did we do this? So that your game can access all of the translations. Well, that's pretty good. Also, it probably won't be poverty. I guess if you're in the city proper, it could be pretty expensive, but still, hopefully your job pays you well enough. All right, so we got to add this as a submodule. I don't actually know how you do that. Let's just search for a submodule. Git submodule, update, remote, init. Okay, that's probably this. Whoops. Yeah, I'm not totally sure how you do this though. I mean, I wrote some notes, so I guess let's go open those up. Submodules. Initialize and update, pass recursive. All right, I'm gonna just heavily use AI for this because I want to make sure this is working correctly. So I want to add this as a submodule. I wanted to mimic what we did for Skeleseller, which is game submodules. Yeah. Under game. What are the git commands to do this, and which hooks would I need to keep this updated as I, yeah, plan. Great. This should be a pretty straightforward question. And I want to write down how to do these steps in the future. Like, yeah, I want to write notes on pretty much all of this. Oh, man. Yeah, this is, I completely see the next 6 hours being taken up by this stuff. I mean, minus lunch. Because there's, well, I don't know. I'm going to make as quick progress as I can. Do all the thinking again before you finally find the corresponding notes, just like today. Well, in the future, I will, like, this time around, the problem was I didn't know where I wrote those notes because I thought that I hadn't written them, but I should know myself. I didn't think to search there. All right, so this should be pretty straightforward, right? Add this under that, translations. I think we'll just call it translations maybe. The parent repo will pin a specific commit. Updating the newer translations requires adding that submodule pointer and committing it. So yeah, make that directory, git add. Yep, cool. Okay, so I like that. I want to add this as translations. And then add .git modules to translations. All right, so we paste this in. So cool. Now we have, whoops. Oh my God, that was so stupid. I'm in the wrong repo. Oh no. Oh no. Whoops. Whoops, whoops, whoops. Discard. And how do we just delete this? Oh man. Does that fix that? Yeah, perfect. Okay, great. Yeah. All right, let's do this correctly. Let's go into the correct repo. Now let's do those same steps. There we go. All right, now what does it want me to do? For future clones, get clone recurse submodules. Did I ever write that in the README over here? Submodule. Oh yeah, I gotta grant access for everybody. I think I wrote that down, right? Yeah, I did. Hey, bedroom. AI brain rot setting in. You know, I think AI is amazing for any shell commands, any tool calls that you need to use that you don't want to remember all the arguments for. Like the number of times in my entire career that I've used git submodules has been like 4. And I just don't care to remember how to do this. Like I'll probably need this for future repos, so I'll just write down the instructions and yeah. All right, so I didn't write anything else here about like recurse submodules. No, I did not. For existing clones after pulling this init recursive, this should be inside of the git hooks that I had, which should show over here. Wait, what? Are they not checked in? Oh, wow, they're not. Yeah, add these git hooks to keep the translations up to date. Make sure they're executable or they won't run. Oh, this is just going to be necessary now. I don't like that. Maybe we shouldn't do that. Maybe we should just manually run this stuff. Get clone recurse modules. I kind of want to try that out. Hey, Sun Mercury. Yeah, I kind of want to try this out. And then for existing clones after pulling this change, get submodule update init recursive. And to update to the latest commit on its tracked branch later. Update remote merge. I wonder if Rider lets me make this easier somehow. Yeah. Because these hooks won't exist by default, right? Get do you check in hooks? recommit. Can maybe manage along with a repo. They're not propagated when people do a clone, so they're not version controlled. Configuration option hooks path specifies a custom hooks directory. Then you can move your hooks to a tracked directory. Then configure each instance of the repo to use the tracked hooks. Oh man. I'm still not certain that even using hooks in this case was a good idea. Like, should managing submodules be explicit? Well, you know what? We don't need to worry about that too much. Let's just put this here for now. Yeah. All right, so what did we actually run for this? We ran this. Okay, so that's good. Now I want these commands for the future. So let's paste them over here. This is clone anew. This is update existing clones. And then to update the submodule, okay, what else is on here? I guess just the hooks, right? Hooks keep the local submodule checkout sync to the parent repo's pin commit. They should not automatically pull the latest translation repo commit because that would dirty the parent repo unexpectedly. Yeah, I don't want to do any of this stuff. Hey, Blub. Okay, let's just write this down for now. So instructions that AI gave me for updating submodules. I want to test this flow from Rider to see how it would work. I do need to modify the README though. Oh man. All right. Well, anyway, we have the submodule now. There's nothing in here. So then I gotta continue with my to-do list here. So make a new GitHub repo, maybe have it be a temporary repo while I figure everything out. Add collaborators. Yeah, we still need to do that. GitHub repo. We're not going to do that just yet. Make sure they aren't really surfaced in WebLate for yarn spinner dialog. It's okay if they show up. Sure. GitHub, figure out how this will work in Rider. Yeah. Make a README about this in our repo. Oh, not the picture. That's a different bullet point. Yeah, obviously we need to make a README about this. Yeah, I'm not going to write that down. Turn off airlines. Make the project on WebLate. Yeah, this is going to be a little bit tougher. Yeah, I had this written down. Start the process of extracting that. We'll probably need a tool for this. Detect when the locale changes, update yarn spinner. All right, you know what? This isn't terribly bad. Make something that flags fuzzy strings since it means it would... Oh, I see. Consider making some kind of validator tool that would go through all of our translations and flag the fuzzy ones. Fuzzy translations will show up as arbitrary. Oh, there's another problem, isn't there? IDs. Yeah. They're identifiers, which would be arbitrary to the player. All right. Put loose files and CSVs in their own folders. It's just a project in the script. Need to update dialog runner or something if we relocate those files. I think I just meant without the CSVs. Yeah. Okay. Let's go on to the next step here. So we need this tool. Well, we need to use the new paths. I guess let's start with that. So like make sure .po files go to the new submodule. We should come up with a folder structure for that too. Let's go find it. Games, submodules, translations. All right, so there's a README in here. I don't think there's anything in this, right? Yeah, that's fine. So we'll make a... What did the Skeleseller one look like? Games, submodules, Skeleseller translations. So we had it split by folder, and then we had an underscore path for the base files. Yeah. I think that's fine. Yeah, I don't see a problem with that. We're going to need to modify this tool, though, because I don't think that's what currently happens. So I guess we just delete this. All right. Tools. No, not tools. Game. Localization. None of this should be needed, right? No, the PO file should be needed. Don't I have another thing here, though? Resource yarn. Yeah, so I guess it's just the localization folder would change. Now, alternatively, the other thing we could do here is maybe put everything into one file. One of the problems that we had on Weblate was that we had it split. So if you clicked like French here, there'd be two components, scenes and scripts, and then the glossary. The glossary is always going to be there. That's not a problem. But yeah, to translators, it doesn't really matter whether something is a scene or a script. And it is kind of tedious to have both of them. Oh, wait a sec, though. I don't generate the scenes. Godot does. All right, and also we should probably have my custom tool call the generation functions from Godot. Oh man, there's so much to do. Yeah, so splitting them by language probably does make the most sense. All right. Fine. Yeah, let's go change this. All right, so no, don't implement this, just dismiss. I don't care. All right, let's make a new thing. So I just added, where's that repo? Oh, I should probably also add this to my homepage, right? Add new translation repo to my homepage. So, okay, here's how today's going to go, which is pretty much how it's already gone. I'm going to come up with a million small problems, and we're going to tackle as many of those problems as we can and just keep going through this list. And hopefully by the end of the day, we've gotten this list to be very tiny. But yeah, it's going to take a lot of effort. Hey, Pretzel. Who am I invoicing? So I just added this as a submodule in game/submodules. It should be the resting place for .po and .pot files. So modify this tool that we made. That's weird. Is it not called program.cs anymore? It is. Why can't I find that? Program.cs. That's problematic. Yeah, that's problematic. Did I open the right solution? I did. What? All right, this shouldn't be happening. Do we have another CS proj file? No. We just have yarn spinner CSV converter, right? Yeah, that's there. Yarn spinner CSV converter project file. Yeah, weird. What's going on here? Why does program not show up in this listing? Does PO Writer? PO Writer does, just program doesn't? Did I ever do something to exclude that? No, what? Okay, I'm gonna restart this. Because I don't know what's causing this particular problem. Just popped in my mind, I see. So now we're not even trying to connect things to the stream. Well, I will invoice you for this. And then it will be correct. I know it's already open here. So like clearly this is this is openable.
Whoops.
Oh, now it's working. Yeah, okay, so I just need to restart the IDE. And if it's already open, it should still find it in here, right? Yeah, it does. Okay. No clue what just happened there. It just seems like a writer issue, but that's fixed. So modify program so that we store these files by language, by locale, or like language / locale code. For example, translation /_ should be the base files. So messages.pot, I guess. Is that what we had over here? It was just POT files, yeah. .pot files. Translations /enus should contain enus.po. Should we even call it that? Should I call it like scenes or scripts or something? Maybe we call it dialogue. Dialogue is probably more sensible. Hey Jazz, happy 45 streams. Do we have a Friday? Do we have? What does that mean? Oh, I see. Like a Friday cult message. Because that's what you are at this point. A cult. Dialogue.po. And translations /FRFR. And folders like this and this should exist, each containing dialogue.po, which are currently represented by enus.po and frfr.po. Okay, I have probably done a bad job at explaining this, so let's put this in plan mode. Currently represented by messages.pot. Okay, let's just do this. Yeah, so this folder shouldn't even exist. Game /localization /yarn shouldn't exist after this change. All right, let's do that. What called? Yes, that's right. What called? All right, so that's what we're doing now. Having AI do this. So what's after this? We need to go pull this thing in. And then we probably need to test this by having a scene with a translated string. Maybe just the title screen for now. And add a script with a translated string. Do we have any obvious candidates for this right now? Like, I don't know where we surface a string through the game. I guess we can just search for quotation marks. How many results do we have? Too many results. Yeah, so I want to continue. Yeah, so I don't care about scenes. I care about source. And are any of these something that should be manifested to the player? These are bus names, so that doesn't matter. None of this should probably matter. Characters, what do we have here? No, none of that matters. Yeah, I guess the only thing we really show to the player is dialogue. Yeah, none of this sets text. Huh, that's kind of interesting. Yeah, that is kind of interesting. Huh. Yeah, not a single string is surface to the player in these? Wow. Yeah, wow. Huh. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, we put nothing is dynamic, so there was no reason to do this, I guess. Yeah. In fact, it might be easier to just look through the game rather than look through the code. So we might just need to write a silly test for this. Hey, Pickle. Hey, Goose. Good morning to both of you. We have a lot of localization stuff ahead of us today. Yeah, so here we set text, but we're setting it to a number, so that doesn't really need to be localized. Oh, although actually I should write this in for the future. We may need our functions for the skeleton functions for localizing numbers, or large numbers at least. Numbers with commas in English, or in ENUS. All right, so not a single string. Here's the only one. You again. That's it. Wow. All right. Yep. So then that's what we should change. All right. I'll write that here. Actually, we already have one. Okay. So the plan should definitely be done. It was probably already finished. Yeah. For the template under this, which file name should the converter write? Yeah, probably dialog.pot. Yeah. Which submodule path should the plan target? Should project.godot be updated to load the new submodule PO paths? Yes. Okay, good. Good questions. Whew. So I think this is important. Like, I think general game dev advice would be set up for localization early, even if you don't localize yet or don't plan to localize. The only thing you should make sure of is that you're actually pursuing the game. But then, yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah. I was going to say, I also don't want to save all these tasks toward the end, but this one's kind of a double whammy, because if you say this for the end, you have more work to do, and then also you're bundling it with work that's not fun. There's some work you can save till the end that's not actually more work. Like, let's say you don't make your credits screen until the end. It's like, it's the same amount of work whether you make it at the beginning or the end. Then yeah, sure, you might have more names to add by the end, but that's not really more work to do. But yeah, localizing is something that just gets harder the longer you wait. All right, so what's the plan here? Update yarn CSV, so get text output lives under this, using one folder per locale / domain shape. This for the base, this for locale files. Yep. Stop writing to or loading from yarn, delete the old track files. Change converter path logic. So this writes these. Yeah, I mean, it should combine with whatever was there. I'll need to make sure it did that correctly. Update merge discovery to recurse through locale subfolders and merge dialog.po files, excluding enus / dialog.po. Okay, this is good. Yeah, migrate existing tracked localization content into the submodule layout. Yep. Remove old yarn tracked files, no changes. Update tests to assert the new nested paths. Update merge test fixture. Run these. Base template file name should be dialog.pot. Okay, cool. Yeah, implement this. Yeah. So here's what I generally think. If AI can do this tool pretty well, then I expect it to be able to parallelize builds. And that would be really nice for when I'm exporting. Because right now, the way that we do this for Skeleseller is we have itch and we have Steam. And we have 3 platforms, Windows, Mac, and Linux. So we have 6 builds running, and they run sequentially right now. And each build takes, I'm just going to estimate like 2 minutes or something, or 1.5 minutes. So either way, that means that like with total, we're taking about 10 minutes. And that's just a long time to be waiting. And yeah, it'd be nice to parallelize this. So yeah. Which agent would you say you like more? I think I like Claude better. But I used Claude more. What about the potential friction between changes and having to retranslate things already translated. Save final translation pass until the end. Because I could see you wanted to make a change, but the lift is too great and discourages you. Yeah. So that's where I think it's like the localization foundation should happen early and translation should happen as late as possible. So let's say you need to make a demo in like French and German and Spanish or something like that. Well, then your demo probably needs to have all those translations done, but just for demo content. So you probably shouldn't translate the rest of your game at that time. Because, yeah, every time you have multiple strings, and if you don't speak these languages, it just increases the cost so much to get these changed. And yeah, you could have AI write some of them. Maybe that'd be good. I don't know. All right, do you want to run this command? arm-rf, yep. Yeah, I don't need that folder. All right, I'm going to let that continue to run. All right, so this tool will find all of the strings from scenes and scripts. Why is scenes here? For merging? I think it's just for merging. Oh, man. Yeah, I think it's for merging. Yeah, so we merge with, yep, I understand. I wonder what no translator does. Also, message init. I don't even know what message init is. This is stuff we did for Skeleseller. Initialize a message catalog. Oh, interesting. It would run merge or it'd run init. I probably should have done that too. I only run message merge, I believe. Huh. The Norwegian translator. Ah, yes. All right, so what does no translator do? Assume the PO file is automatically generated. Why is that called no translator? Oh, as in there was no human translator? Should be no human. Okay. All right, do you want to run this command? What is this? Remove private temp yarn converter test. No, I don't need to do this. Just don't remove anything here. No need to run any RM command. Yeah. No more RM commands. No, well, I didn't really mean that, but that's okay. One or more parameters passed to a function were not valid. Duplicate ID line greeting. I mean, I find full vibe coding mode today. No, just for some of the tooling that we're doing. Also, how are you feeling about Monday? I hope you're excited. I'm excited. Just working with this junior dev. Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of this. Okay, nice. It's all implemented. Yeah, there's a lot of this tooling that is just not fun to write. So hopefully this worked. It just changed a bunch of paths, right? Oh, interesting. Rider splits up your repos like this. Huh. What if I said to split by directory? It still does it. Okay, yeah. So it just picks some colors for this. I wonder if I can change those colors. I don't really care too much. Oh, there's group by repository. I see. So if you wanted them all to be just mixed, you could. I think grouping by repository is probably a great idea then. Nice. What's Monday? Monday is when this game comes out. Seedborn Soldiers. Yeah, it's Magnetic Binds game. It's been in early access and leaving early access on. Wait, that is Monday, right? I asked how is Monday, but yeah, it's Monday. Okay, good. Yeah. When's the first checkpoint of the game I'm making? Because I already had the first checkpoint. The first public checkpoint, I don't know when that'll be. So I think the next checkpoint will still be private. Yeah. All the features are in, so it's just going to be changing a number. I see. Yeah. Well, I'm wishing you luck. Yeah, I don't know when the first public checkpoint will be. I think, one of the other lessons about Skeleseller is that the demo is a double-edged sword. Like, the pros are people can try before buying. I'll just say the biggest ones. Biggest pro is this. So probably reduces refund rate and yeah, maybe increases purchase rate. I'm not sure. And I think the biggest con is demo playtime takes away from full game playtime. So if your game is a total of 3 hours and you give away a demo that is 1 hour, then now you really only have 2 hours of purchase content. And there's this psychological factor of like, well, if that was free, I expect to get way more when I pay for the game. So you need to tone down your demo such that it's representative of the game, but it's not giving away too much. So one of the things I'm concerned about with a public checkpoint is I'm not sure how much of the game there will be. And I don't want people to feel like, well, I already kind of played the whole thing in checkpoint number 4. So I got to think about that. The stream audience is a little bit different. I don't mind sharing like semi-public checkpoints. But yeah, with Skeleseller, like the whole demo was just public. All right, take care, Press. Have a good workout. All right, so this stuff is done. We got to review this. English locale code. This should have French as well. All right, so we got to make some changes here. Yeah. Review the code. Changes. I wanted to find the locale codes based on existing directories. And I'll just add a new directory when I want a new language. Actually, we might want to automate this process here. Is it worth automating this process? Yeah, I got to take a break. So I'll get back to this when I'm back from the break. And we have a bunch of other stuff to do. Out of curiosity, how much of that did it use? Yeah, like 9%. That's not bad. Okay. It resets at 1. All right, I'll be back in a little bit. Is it jump time? It's jump time. I didn't see what happened, but it's funny what Matt said. All right, close the game. All right, so we're going to review this. So yeah, I don't want it to have to do this. I want to just pull this from whatever path happens to exist. Yeah, I'll change it afterward. All right, so what is this? Oh no, maybe the English path is specific and then we have to handle that one. Yeah. No, never mind. This is probably fine. So just add a comment that for yarn spinner, English is handled differently since that's the language I write everything in. And then mention here that, actually, no, I guess English would be kind of the same way here too, right? Figure out how I want to handle English for this. No, there won't be a way of handling English for this. I'll need to translate this. Unless I extract IDs. I don't want to use English as the base language here, and we don't have any other identifier. Yeah. English wouldn't be handled here how we did for yarn spinner. We would just have identifiers. Okay. Yeah. Let's keep looking through this. Yeah, so this is not good. So this shouldn't happen. Instead, we should just look through which non-underscore and non-English directories we have. Yeah, I'll change that. Is there anything else? Yeah, this looks all fine. This is good. This is good. This keeps getting added. I don't know what this is. I should probably figure out what this is. Maybe I just let it get checked in because I don't think this matters. Yeah, I don't think this matters. It's some rider thing anyway. Yeah, so this is what? French? No, this is English. And this is French. Yeah, nice. Okay, and then this is the base. Yeah, cool. Okay, so the only change we want to make, I check in the idea folder. I check in some bits of it. All right, so the only change to make, like, I see this FRPO file. Where was that? Oh yeah, French PO. It's not finding it now. Wait, what? How is it not finding it? Directory. It's in the tests. Oh, it probably should be in the tests. Okay, never mind. I didn't realize what file I was looking at. All right, so then yeah, it looks like it just wrote this totally fine. In fact, there was the English file that's also in the test program. All right. All right, so check in everything. Store PO files in new submodule. The submodule points to a new GitHub repo. All right, looks good. Commit. Send it to the Shadow Realm. My grandfather's GitHub repo has no bad code. All right, so having ideas. So now we need this tool. This is where this gets to be challenging. Yeah. So we had these two things. I don't want this to be a separate CS proj, but I want to use this as input. So I want to put this in here for now. Whoops. Just for AI to use as input. Okay, so I've created a temporary directory with input files here. It contains code from another game that I made, which launches X get text to collect strings to be translated, then merges them with existing .po files. I want the functionality from this to be merged into Yarn CSV converter, which now means it's more than just the CSV converter. So this is going to be a pretty big change, actually. More than just a Yarn CSV converter, as the name suggests. So rename the tool to something like localization, not even something like, I should just come up with a name myself. Rename the tool to localization or localizer. Huh. I mean, the last thing we just called it was i18n/program. Maybe this is more like, I don't know. Let's just think of what it's doing. It's for the sake of localization. It's pulling strings from various files. I could just call it localization manager, but I really don't like manager in names of things. Could call it localizer, but it's actually not localizing. I am going to call it localization manager. Once you have a better name. A2M's I10M or L10M P5M. Yeah. Why do you not like manager? It's too generic a term sometimes, and you could sort of name everything manager, like database manager and file manager and localization manager, and it's not exactly clear how it's working. But this is an entire tool, so maybe that's fine. Merge the style of the code in just for AI to use as input, or like to match what is already done in Yarn Spinner CSV converter. The one thing that seems better about this is that it makes use of system.command line, which seems more robust than, yeah. Do like the use of so maybe change Yarn Spinner CSV converter. This is going to be a gigantic change to use system.command line. And then what else? Okay, so the collected strings from this tool should not treat English as a special language. The source strings will just be identifiers like spell fireball, or like, I don't know, like title screen new game rather than the English string new game. Hey, ABC. Maybe localization service instead of localization manager. Or even just localization tool. That might be fine. Yeah. We got to put this in plan mode. I actually do kind of want it to be an extra high thinking. I know this is going to burn through my entire plan, but I guess it's fine if it does. Who cares? Do we already have a start game in here? Yeah, I do. Okay. Yeah, you literally call it tool before you name it. Yeah, it's good thinking. Don't modify code in this. It's temporary and will be deleted. All right, anything else we need to tell it about? Eventually, this should run as part of my Uber command. Where is that Uber command? It's here. Well, maybe make another Uber command for this. There should be an Uber command to do everything. Currently, it's this, but I want to be able to run, what would we call this? Localization tool slash update all localizations. To perform what is currently in program. After running this. Had a bike crash coming back from work today. Fortunately, no broken bones. Fork is trash for sure. We'll see about the frame. Oh man, I'm sorry to hear about that. I'm glad there's nothing like permanent damage to you. Permanent damage to the bike. I always kind of think like, yeah, that's gotta suck, but hey, at least it's not your bones. Did you get the information from the driver, or was there no driver? Was it just like an accident? I don't know, hitting a lamppost or going off a hill or something? Use Ninja as their build tool, and their Uber command is turtles, Ninja turtles. All right, I think I've got everything that I want here, and this is just a plan anyway, so we'll see how this works. Yeah. Head-on collision with another cyclist. Wow. Yeah, man. I hope they're okay too. But yeah, that's rough. You know, depending on where you live, at least in the US, it's kind of a shame because even the places with a lot of bikers, there's still not enough awareness about how to drive on the road with bikers and how to I don't know, just like be aware. So I imagine in somewhere like the Netherlands, I would guess, I don't know if this is true, but I would guess that the relative number of bike accidents is probably smaller than in a place like the US. I say relative, like a percentage, because Amsterdam has way more bikers, for example, than like, I don't know, Cincinnati or something. What tool was that? This is Codex, and hey, the Hulk. So this is me running an AI agent to plan out this next task. in general, I don't want to write a lot of the tooling for the project. I'd love to not manage this because for me to write all this stuff out, I mean, we do technically already have this. So I could just merge this in and I could like connect things, but I think this is something AI is pretty good at. Yeah. Running into this stupid naming problem for so long. Give me your hot takes. Anyone who has an opinion. You have a consistent pattern of using validation classes that wire up as decorators to say endpoint. Validation handler, if you would. But I have 20 to 30 of them as the project grows. Makes navigating code by file finder a pain. So you add context to the name. I think having identical names is okay if the directories are easy to type. So imagine if you had something like enemies slash names.cs and players slash names.cs. I'm just making things up here, right? So now you go try to type in names.cs and it's like, oh my God, there's 40 of them. So you type in like en names or pl names or it names and it would find them. So I think that's okay. But yeah, if your directory names aren't anything special, then yeah, I'd probably put them into the files. So let's say you just had a names folder, then yeah, I'd make enemy names.cs and player names.cs. In general, because of using find dialogues like this, I find that differentiating the file name is better than differentiating by folder. A classic example is if you have package.json in a mono repo for JavaScript code or TypeScript code, you could probably have a bunch of package.json files. And unfortunately, I think it has to be named package.json. I'm not sure, but it doesn't matter. But then you search by like, oh, I want bot slash package.json, or I want like web slash package.json. Yeah. Pretty much only use the trails nearby. Hate biking in painted gutters or sharrows. I haven't heard of that. Also, I don't know if it said hi to Chili and Strong, but hi, Chili and Strong. Oh, shared lane markings. I see. What is this doing? For C# strings collected with X get text, which get text file layout should the merge tool use? Separate scripts.po? Sure, yeah. How should the tool decide which locales to initialize or merge for non-yarn strings? Yeah, existing directories. Should update all localizations, update project.godot, so generate PO files are registered with Godot. It could do that, but I think it should probably leave it alone. Maybe it just warns. I don't know, actually. I'm not. Yeah, I guess let's register them, sure. Also, hey Jess, I don't think it's the high. Give me 1 sec. Okay, sorry. I'll be right back. Okay, sorry about that. Let's see. Road to the bike lane, 2 car lanes, a tram lane, 8 lanes of madness. Looks at the task at hand, evaluated my condition, decided to stay on my side of the road. Yeah, like crossing the road in India is really tough compared to the US because you kind of just had to walk and hope that cars path around you. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so I expect this to be quite a lot here. Where's the part that we're on? Yeah, this. Should run as part of the new tool. Test about having a scene. Yep, so we got to do this. Verify that this works. So I'm having AI write the plan and then implement this. This is going to take a lot of quota, I expect. But that's okay. I can burn through the whole 5-hour thing right now. Actually, no, I was thinking about this. If you are using AI and you're on some $20 a month plan, like one of the things that at least Codex has, and I'm sure everything probably has, is because they want your money, is you can buy like 500 credits for another $20. They last for a year. And then I don't know what the whole credit to number of tokens is. I think it's like 1,000,000 tokens. So honestly, that's not like a bad idea. I don't, Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna ever hit that point, at least not on the stream. Like I was trying to maximize my Claude plan, and I still kind of had a hard time because there are only so many things I want to do with AI. I don't want to just making the entire project. I want to like, yeah, I want it for tooling and stuff like this. This is, I think, a great example of what I wanted to do. But I don't want to be like, okay, go make the foundation for the new game and set up tile maps and like whatever else. I want to do that stuff, or at least a lot of it. Hey, Freak Technic. I have a funky question mark. The localization will encounter. It's upside down. That's a mistake. Yeah. Okay. All right. So the plan is done. Let's look at it. This is probably going to be pretty hefty. Actually, I'll just copy it over to VS Code so I can look at it in the preview thing. There we go. Okay. So rename this a localization tool. Yep, yep, yep. Keep current yarn CSV behavior. Remove command parsing to the system.command line. Add C# source string extraction into... Yes. Add update all localizations to the main command. Run yarn localization sync. Then this. Then register generated PO files. Do not edit this or anything under game add-ons. Yeah. Canonical command looks good. Keep compatibility commands or practical. This is like yarn convert now. I probably need to rename that. I'll just write that down for myself. Changes after AI does stuff. Convert should probably be yarn convert. Actually, can we collapse the steps so that we merge yarn stuff and non-yarn stuff at the same time? Yeah. All right, locale behavior, discover locale directories, treat exactly like every other locale for source extracted scripts. Yep. This is also going to be for scenes. And I feel like this didn't mention scenes at all. But this uses scenes.po. Yeah, I got to mention that. Okay. System command line, keeps the local. Yep, yep, yep. Copy. Okay, good. Yep. Source extraction. Enumerate game source /star.cs. Where do we do this? We get it from source directory path. Yep, that sounds good. Cool. That's just for scripts. Do they mention scenes in here at all? No. All right, so this is all good except... Yeah, this is all good except that it should also need to merge scenes.po with scenes.pot as program does. Oh, you can't use add tags in here now? The Godot will be responsible for generating scenes.pot for now. Yeah, okay, so submit that. All right, and in fact, the amount that it took to make that plan was not too crazy. Yeah. Okay, so I'm expecting this to be done pretty quickly. Yeah, so now the plan should just mention POT files or scenes files. Yep, looks good. Cool. Cool. All right, implement this. So now I am curious how much is going to burn through to do this. So this is we're at 84%. We're at 84% after making the plan. Curious how much it'll use to implement the plan. Yeah. If you have 1,000,000 tokens, 10K tokens is 1%. Yeah, but how many tokens is the, like, can I tell how many tokens I'm using or something? I probably shouldn't scroll down too far on this page. Let me take a look. I don't know where I see that information. Yeah. First time using agents. I've not used them yet, but can you do multiple agents to do different things like quality agent, etc.? This isn't my first time using agents, but yes, you can use multiple agents to do different things. And when people go kind of all in on AI, that's a lot of what they're doing. It's like they'll have an agent generate a plan, then another agent review the plan, then another agent implement it, and then review the implementation, and then like write tests or whatever. Like, so you have a bunch of different things running at a time at any given time. And then you might have things running on a schedule too, like, hey, every day check new commits and generate a change log. Like, yeah, that's a good idea for an AI to do, especially if you're doing nightly builds. So I think it's helpful for stuff like this. Like, there's a lot of code now that AI has written for this tool. This tool is not something I would find fun to do. And that's in general what I want AI for. Like, I want AI for the unfun stuff, like grunt work, boilerplate, tools that you can easily verify. So what this boils down to for localization, like, AI would be handling the file conversions. That's pretty much what we're doing here. So Yarn Spinner, for example, generates CSVs. We then convert them to .po files. We then need to merge with the existing ones. All of these are just tool calls. It's not like I'm having AI write the tools that are doing anything important. We are still using things like xgetText to find the strings, message merge, and message init to create the PO files and merge them. There's some other tool that we use for, I guess we're using all of Yarn Spinner's add-on code for this stuff too. So, yeah, like, I don't want to do this stuff. I want to get back to game dev, and I want this stuff done ideally today. Usually slash and usage works. I see. This is running right now, right? Yeah, it is. Okay, good. Yeah, let's let that run. You're saying it could get out of control fast. It could, yeah. And I think, at the end of the day, it's like you need to validate what the AI has produced, and how you do this could be different. Maybe it's automated tests. Maybe it's some like running the program yourself. And you got to consider, what is your attack surface or your problem surface for this. So like this localization tool, for example, it's only on my machine, or, well, dev machines, I should say. It's only on dev machines. It's run when we change strings. And the worst case scenario is that it deletes all of the strings, let's say. There's no like security potential problem here. This isn't even running on players' machines. And like I said, the worst case scenario is, oh, hey, all the strings are broken. Like, it's not going to break the game code. Can't do that. So, yeah, I don't think there's too much fallout that could happen here in the near future. So what do? I architect AI agents for large software dev AI companies. I mean, that could be what some people say. I think for right now, we're in what I kind of consider almost a golden era of AI can be helpful, but it hasn't completely destroyed humanity yet. And I think that AI getting better would actually pull us out of this golden era, because then we'd lose even more jobs collectively. But yeah, for right now, it's like, well, if it speeds people up by like 20%, then yeah, probably some companies won't hire as much, but it won't lead to like large scale poverty or something. But yeah, in a year or two, who knows? Verify bug fixes by having an AI agent control their browser. Wow. Yeah. I mean, if you're in a VM or you're on a different profile or something, I don't think that's that bad. But I wouldn't want it just controlling my like main browser. Anyway, in this particular case, since all I'm doing today is localization, I don't feel like I can really switch to another task very easily. So let's go see if I can start writing some other stuff that we have here. So make the GitHub repo, add that repo as a submodule. We still need the other instructions for this. This is done. Wouldn't be handled here how we did for Yarn Spinner. We just have identifiers. It run as part of the new tool. Cool. What are we at now in terms of usage? Okay, it's really not too bad. I mean, it's gone through what, 7%? It'll probably take another like few minutes, and I'm guessing it'll be done. I wonder if we're using it more and more, or just helping the inevitable take over all of our dev jobs. Oh yeah, almost certainly. I think this is practically what a tragedy of the commons is. You're doing something that personally benefits you that in the long term might hurt kind of everybody. So it's like using AI could result in some speed up or optimization of your own workflow. And maybe, I don't know, I'm just going to say 20% just to be conservative here. Maybe that's liberal for some people. Maybe it's like 5% or 3%. Either way, I think for most people, it's improving it by some amount. Like it's helping you write tools or construct emails or do research or whatever. So now we all end up doing that. And it's like, well, humanity as a whole might have gotten 5% more productive. It's like, okay, well then what are we doing with the extra time or the extra work? So yeah, I think that's what's going to contribute to this. Yeah. More it all feels a bit limited and goofy. Definitely found some really good workflows with it, but there's a lot of overselling going on. Yeah, I think there's overselling for sure. But one of the things I kind of like thinking about is, okay, so suppose you agree that AI improves your personal productivity by 5%. It's like that's 5% that may never get better, but that's already pretty nice to have, right? Especially if it's like the most annoying 5% of your work. Like you need to make some like really simple website, and rather than go look into, okay, what's the up-to-date TypeScript advice, what packages do people use, you just tell AI to do it and you're like, oh cool, okay, that task is done and I wasn't looking forward to it. Luckily I was the AI and production people got less work to do. Yeah. 5% is the benefit. What's the cost? Yeah. So cost could be extreme, and that's why I'm ignoring the cost side of things. That's more in my like AI video that I talk about. Because yeah, there's resource cost, there's actual monetary cost, there's environmental cost. But just in terms of what was the context of this at least? Yeah, that it feels limited and goofy. That this is the context I'm talking about here. Or then I think we just look at what's the benefit of using it. Cost comes down over time, ideally, though that hasn't played out super well with automobiles. Yeah. It caps up. Been freelancing in software dev for 10 years, and I have to admit, it's written 98% of my code for the past year. Yeah, I've heard this from other people. I have some friends who are working at big tech companies, and at least one of them has stopped writing code pretty much. And he's like, the AI is writing better code than I would write, and it's freeing him up to do other parts of his job. Hey, Gooseman. Done a lot of help to augment my personal workflows at work. I've set up a bunch of automation to code review, security review, PO review. Yeah, I've heard about it too from people who are doing kind of like, I'd say, clerical work. So, for example, you have a performance review at a big company. A lot of what you need to do is collect artifacts, like make your case, whatever other tasks are in here. And like, you could pretty much just say, look through all of my emails and figure out where I got accolades or something like that. And for you to do this would be tedious. Have AI do it. It's like, oh, that just saved me a bunch of time. So, yeah, I think there are a lot of ways that this can help. Change after this does stuff. Convert should probably be yarn convert. Verify this works. Yeah. Probably have my custom tool called the generation functions from Godot. Now, I wonder if this is doable. So there's the dialogue in here. We have template generation. You can click generate. I don't actually have any scenes, so we should probably add something at some point. But yeah, I wonder how you would do this from the command line. I don't think there was a way to do it originally. Generate POT files from command line. I think there was an issue on this. Huh, that's strange. Godot generate POT file from command line. Support POT. Yeah, this one. Was this closed? It's open. Yeah, okay. I didn't think this was possible. And where do they stand with this? Mentioned this 4 days ago. Add CLI hook for extracting translation. Is this closed as a duplicate? Closed as completed. They shouldn't do that. Yeah, they shouldn't do that. So it wasn't completed. All right, so then this doesn't have any updates. It's related to this, so this is... I mean, this is a nice change, but this isn't exactly what we need. So yeah, because this isn't supported, we'll need to call into this. Need to work around this. I'll have to look at that. Means I can have several clients at the same time. Yeah, that's why I say like golden era right now. Right? Once everyone starts doing this, there's not a need for some of these tools or services anymore. And one of the cases that I talked about was there are these one-off tools that I'm writing that don't really need technical knowledge. And I think a good example of that is this. This is a tool that I just entirely vibe coded. It's called Stream Titler. It's meant for me. I stream to Twitch and to YouTube, and I have to type a title every day, and I have to update the details on both websites. So now I can still type my title. I still do that. And I type the description. But now I can just click update Twitch, create YouTube stream, and then I need to do a couple of things manually because there are no APIs for those. So I need to copy this and put it into the Twitch description. And oh, wait, did I do this today? I need to enable monetization on YouTube for every single stream, which is super annoying. But yeah, that saved me a bunch of time, and I didn't need to really be a computer scientist to make that tool or to oversee making the tool. Yeah. They have limitations at the same time. They're really good at some things. Yeah. Yeah, and I think another like a huge positive impact for me is that it lets me prioritize tasks that would otherwise be dropped completely. And yeah, this is massive. So there were a lot of like small quality of life things where I'm like, I could do this, but it would take 2 hours. And if you think of 2 hours as being a quarter of a workday, which it's actually more like a third of a workday for me, then it's like I can't justify that. So I would just drop it. And yeah, like I might never have had this tool, and I might have been spending an extra 30 seconds every single day. It's not a lot of time lost, but still, it's like, okay, well, now I don't have to do that. Is it the biggest thing after programming in the whole project? I don't think it's the biggest thing. I think game design is probably the biggest thing because that's what leads to you programming anything anyway. And then I think probably some amount of like testing and validation. And it depends on if you lump balancing into testing, because if you do, then balancing can be really tough for games. But yeah, localization, I kind of see it as like a week of work if you do it early. And yeah, that's kind of aligning with what we've got here, right? Like it's been what, 4 days this week? So maybe we'll have one overflow day. So this is still running. I didn't expect it to take this long. And yeah, as long as we still have this remaining, then we're fine. Yeah. Add new translation repo to my homepage. I can go do this now. All right, so let's just go to this and just replace the URL with SIABT. Cool. Now let's go put this on my homepage. So stuck repo. All right, I'll add this here. We'll call this translations, paste, small text. And let's put it right next to that one. Cool, save. CP homepage. All right, so now it's on my homepage right there. Now I can just click it and open this up. Nice. And we can mark that task complete. Add collaborators I could do now. I just want to make sure this is the repo we stick with because I haven't finalized everything yet. Excuse me. Oh, nice. It's done. All right. So how much did this end up using? Because I do like knowing about in general. All right. It's at 55%. I'm going to assume that's stabilized. It might drop another percent or two. It went to 55% when it was done. And there are probably changes I'm going to have to make. And I expect it to be a gigantic amount of stuff to look through. Yeah. Although some of this will be renames. So maybe the easiest way to do this is to just add everything now so I can see where the renames are. Does that make it easier over here? Yes, it does. Okay, cool. All right, let's start reviewing some code. So this is just path changes. That's fine. This is a namespace change. Yeah, so a lot of these are going to be pretty simple because they're going to be one-line changes in here. That's okay. This is what, a path change? Yes. All right. So create. Using input CSV, output directory. Options, add range, okay. Yeah, and I want to test this out too. This looks fine. That's okay. What do we have here? Executable resolver. This should have already existed. I wonder if it's because we're using this now for message merge and for Godot. Message merge runner uses it, and xget text uses it. Yeah, this is pretty cool. Okay, nice. What is find sibling for? Get directory name, resolve candidate, path.combine. Yeah, I see. How could this possibly work? Yeah, this can't work, right? Oh, no, it's this, not message attrib path. Okay, so this has to exist. And let me try finding it from here. I think that's a little weird. Yeah, I'll just comment on some of this stuff. Is a bit strange to me. Maybe add a comment. All right, let's go back to here. Find on path. So we're probably going to see a lot of deleted code like this because I'm pretty sure there was another place where that already existed. These are just changes to the paths. That's fine. This is, oh, this is the temporary code. I was like, that shouldn't exist. Okay, discover locals. What does this do? Oh, locales, excuse me. I missed the E. Yeah, this sounds good. And it is excessively using link here. Okay, cool. We don't need multiple name wheres, by the way, but I think they're a link optimization such that it shouldn't really matter. Oh, wait, system.command line is an external package? What? I did not know that. Oh, I didn't know that. I thought it was... Who made this? Is it Microsoft? System command line. Yeah, who made this? Where's the author? MIT license. Project website. Yeah, it's in the official.net. Yeah. So it's Microsoft who made this, right? Yeah, it's Microsoft. Okay, that's fine. I thought because it had system at the beginning that it was just built in, but it's in a package. So that's probably why AI didn't use it at first. But I don't really mind that it's in a package. Yeah. All right, so that's fine. This is just renaming. Oh, wait, what am I doing? That means I can't check in. Uh-oh. Something's wrong over here. Oh, no, nothing's wrong. All right, I'll just write a note to myself to make sure I did not check this stuff in. Make sure I didn't check in this. Yeah, I think it's a reasonable change. So message merge runner. We're going to just test all this stuff out. Yeah. All right, looks good. Ensure header if empty. This is never even called. Why did it create this? Huh. All right, I'll keep this there for now. I guess because it was the name of what we had before. No, I should just delete that then, huh? All right, next file, next file. This is fine. Process runner. Sure. Okay, so this has a... Oh, no, this is my old code. I was going to say, this is a mistake. Build root command. All right, so this we're going to test out. This is the command runner part. So if anything's wrong here, we'll see it very easily. And now what? Tool, test changes. Yep, looks good. Yeah, this is just a bunch of renames. Other than this is testing what the full workflow. Yeah. And what is this? Godot localization registrar. I'm not a huge fan of this. This is going through, getting all the lines and then checking the one that contains this. I feel like maybe this is what you have to do, but I feel like there should be a better way of doing this. But yeah, I'll leave this as is for now. And we modified the README. Okay, honestly, all in all, this is pretty good. How many more of these do we have to look through, though? Because we should be almost done. Yeah, we only have 2 files left. I thought we would be done already. So I don't use all these yet, but I probably will at some point. Yeah, this is almost one-to-one what we used to have here. This merge domain is not quite the same. And then there's this too. Validate. Okay. Okay, cool. All right, so let's go test this out. This is going to be something. So I want to delete this, and hopefully that just immediately changes what we've got over here. So that get status doesn't show that. Deleted. Oh, because it's still staged here? Just for AI to... No. Oh, yeah, there it is. Yeah, I want to remove this. Get... What? Checkout? Updated one path. And I guess the same for this. Get checkout. Get status. I am not doing this correctly. Where are those files? There it is. Yeah, this I want to just delete. And then we have one more of those. There it is. Delete this too. All right. Okay, so let's go try this out. So we're going to add in the title screen. I don't know where I even put the title screen, so let's go find it first, I guess. Title screen. It's in control flow. Project, add, scenes, control flow, title screen. Okay, so the title screen is one of the ones with built-in strings, or not built-in strings, translatable strings. And hopefully we set this up correctly. Where is start game button? This should have translates at the end here. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so this will get translated. So that's working. And now we want to go change that line that said you again. And set this to solution. So we just make this TRU again. And there. Now we test this out. Whew. Okay, let's go try it. I'm excited to see if this works. We should just be able to run this and everything should be fine. It has horribly broken. Could not find Godot executable. That's new. Godot was somehow set. Like if I do echo Godot here, it's not set anymore. What set this? I did this just like a day or two ago. I don't know what was responsible for setting this environment variable. Because I set Godot 4. I didn't modify this, did I? Z shell? Godot. No, I don't know how that ever got set. Huh. That makes no sense. I probably even have the tab. Well, maybe I don't anymore, but I probably have the tab somewhere where I echoed this and it was set to something. I mean, we could just set this now. I just didn't do it when I thought it was done for me. Godot equals Godot 4. I think that should work. Source Z shell. And then echo Godot. Yeah, there. All right, so now we should try it from over here. Where'd that tab go? I'll just close it and open a new one. Actually, this is fine. So source Z shell. And then run this. And it should find Godot now. Okay, so now it's saying generate the Godot scene POT file in Godot before syncing. Oh yeah, I never did that. Okay, so that's a real error. So we got to go do this and generate and put it in here, here, here. And I think it should be called scenes with a capital S because that's what the original script needed. And now we try running this again. Okay, it ran. Did it work? Wow. This is going to save so much time. All right, so this is what? This is the English file? English, yes. Okay, and nothing's set and they're all fuzzy. That's perfect. We should find the French file. Yep, same thing. And then we should find the base file. Yeah, so I just realized we're going to have to convert everything into IDs. Yeah, we're going to have to convert everything into IDs. Do I have that written down already? I should. Oh, come on. I must have written this down, right? Something I'll go through the whole code base? Well, that's not like me. It must be here somewhere, right? Custom tool, add collaborators, make sure line IDs, functions, weblate, detect, count changes, change the scenes so we don't auto translate everything. Huh. I don't have it written down anywhere. Wow. Okay, yeah. So go through all scenes and code and manifest strings correctly. I don't think there are any user-facing strings in C# files other than you again. But the scenes need to be changed to use IDs instead of English source strings. Then we need the view language set to English. May need to ask Kevin or Dark to test this so that it can just work out of the box for everybody. Wow, I am impressed. This tool is doing quite a lot now, and it looks like it just worked. Yeah, nice. So now here's how we would test this for real. So in the English script, we have you again. We change this to something like hello there. Then here we go into main in ready and do gd.print u again. So it should say hello there. I'm going to press F5. What is it for? Automatically adding new entries to all languages. It's for extracting strings from our scripts and our scenes so that someone can translate them. This did not work. Why didn't this work? Because it wasn't added to a translation here. Scripts is right there. Did I modify the wrong thing? Is this not English? ENUS, yeah. Maybe I just need to reload the project in Godot. No, it's still not working. Oh, because it's fuzzy. Oh my God. Okay, that's working as intended. Yeah, I got to delete that. And then we hit play, and now it should say hello there. Yes, perfect. Okay, great. Yeah, wow, nice. Everything's just set up. Wow. Yeah, this is incredible. It's gonna be even easier than it was to work with Skeleseller, I think. All right, so I should probably like undo the changes I just did to these files. Or, well, delete this for sure. Or maybe check these in. I don't know. I don't think it really matters. Let's just run it one more time. In case I messed that up. Anyone asked for ENGV? No, no one actually asked for it, and I don't plan on ever providing it. All right, so I reviewed everything. I think I want to look at, what is this? Oh, test fixture. You know, maybe we should sort this by directory so I can actually tell what I'm doing here. So tools, I kind of want to ignore. This changed how? The name. And this changed by just translating that one string. Then we modified project.godot. We should have registered all of these and also registered a scene file here. Yep. All right, this is pretty good. Yeah, this is very impressive. This is very, very impressive. That took what, like 15 minutes and 30% of my quota? How long did it actually take? 15 minutes? Yeah. 14 minutes, 8 seconds. ENCA. Okay. I've got to commit this next. Commit the tooling changes and then make a couple of other kind of quick changes. We are on an excellent path today. And I've got another like 4 hours of streaming, and I really, really want to get through this entire list. It is going to be a beast to do this. But yeah. All right. I got to go take another break. So I'll be back in a little bit. Is it jump time? It's jump time. Okay, hello again, everybody. Close the game. All right, so commit the tooling changes. Let's go do this. I think we're just going to commit everything. I didn't see anything that was unusual. So convert Scala sellers x get text tooling to this code base. This was written by AI. The only changes I made were to add title screen dot to add some like test points, title screen dot tscn and a tr call in C# so that we could make sure this whole thing works. Do you remember where the unused method was? I was wondering if the method it called was also unused. The method it called was also unused, and Ryder will figure that out. It's because we used to have some like git, I forgot what it was called, but like git head or something, and then there was a new flavor added as the base function, so that now this old one wasn't needed anymore. But yeah, not a big deal. Okay, so now I wanted to make a couple of quick changes here. And yeah, find sibling is only ever used here. So I want to just ask why, and we don't need this to be extra high. Why does find sibling exist? What scenario does it cover? All right, make sure I didn't just check in this, done with that. And then convert should probably be yarn convert or yarn spinner convert. Convert. Yeah, here it is. Convert a yarn spinner CSV. Okay, so what are the commands that we have here? Because there are a lot, and we don't use any of them directly anymore. So yeah, I think we just rename this. Is there for the no obsolete path. When the tool has resolved message merge, it may also be message attrib. Find sibling first checks the same directory before falling back to searching path. User passes an explicit message merge, but that get text installs message attrib is not on path. Oh, I see. Okay, yeah, add a comment to add a documentation comment above find sibling that explains its existence. Do you remember where oh yeah, sorry about that. You very casually changed the thinking level, which is a surprise to me. Do you know what invalidates your cache? I did not know that, but that's okay. I've never come close to hitting my usage limits. And the kinds of questions I'm asking now are so simple. And I should be done using AI in another, like, maybe one change today. I mean, these minor ones, sure. But then there's one other thing I needed to do. Where was it? Yeah, this. So I got to do that at some point. All right, so this modified a comment. Let's go take a look at that. Don't group by directory. Why did translations change? What is this? The submodule changed. I hope I'm checking this incorrectly. I'm going to need to push that repo too. All right, what is this? Finds another... I can't read any of this. There we go. All right. Finds another get text executable next to a resolved toolpath. This lets callers that were given an explicit path, e.g. to message merge, also find a sibling path from this. Yeah. All right. Cool. Sure. I want this stuff to go away. Oh, I am not doing that. We're cutting out this rule. Configure rule off. Save. Nice. And then this I could just add to the dictionary here. It's the name of an executable. I don't really know how I feel about this. Yeah, I don't really care. It turns cost 10x as much as a lot of thinking tokens. I mean, I just did this query and it used 1% of my usage. So I don't think it was a significant, like I was at 55% before and now I'm at 54%. So I don't think it was a massive impact or anything. All right, so now rename convert to yarn convert. And that's here in program. Yeah. Program. Cool. Okay, so this is done. This is done. So we're getting through the list. We got through that. We just need this one to be done. This should be incredibly simple. Yeah. Yeah, so now there's yarn convert for this stuff. Oh, whoops, that was my comment. I never checked that in. I didn't mean to do that. I forgot. Yep, looks good. Looks good. Looks good. Yep, everything looks good there. And then what is this file? Oh, the submodule. I'm like, that's weird. I don't. It's just a commit hash, right? All right, so this should be finished. Yeah, so I'm gonna run this one more time. Just make sure this is all working. And then, like I said, I think we have one last kind of big AI thing we need to do. Yeah, this is all working. And it shouldn't have done anything here. Oh, it did generate it. Oh, because the date changed. Yeah, I don't care about that. Roll back. All right, so let's check in my comment change on its own. Yep, so clarify a comment. And then this is going to be change name of convert command yarn convert. And this is update translations submodule. By the way, I have an AI plan on Rider and it's using credits somehow. It's used very few, but I don't know why it used any of them. I don't think I've ever explicitly made it use these credits, at least not in the last month. And if I am, I'm unintentionally doing it. I don't care. I'm getting these credits for free, but I would like to know. I think maybe it's when I'm having it type commit messages for me, but I don't mean to ever trigger that. I've just seen it try auto completing. So yeah, maybe I'm messing something up. Auto generated proposals. So anything auto completing in code should be free. It should only be something that I'm somehow manually triggering. And maybe what it is, maybe it's that I'm accidentally pressing command space from a commit message. I kind of want to try that. Yeah, let's do this. This is a fake line. And I go over here and say command, wait, no, how do you do this? This, yeah, tab to complete. So if I hit tab here, is that costing me a credit? This, I think, has some lag time between when it drops. But if it is, that'd be kind of a shame because it doesn't do it in code. If it doesn't in the commit message, yeah, that'd be unfortunate. I realize how annoying credit and limit management is for these AI tools. It's not actually too bad depending on how you use it. If you're running like 100 agents at work and you want to run 100 agents yourself, yeah, you're probably going to spend a lot of money and it's probably going to be annoying to manage. But if you're doing what I'm doing where it's like, hey, here's a refactoring task I don't feel like doing, it's generally fine. Would it feel better if you undocked commit tab to your other screen to have the diff expanded? It might. I do open this quite a lot though. Move to view mode, dock, unpin, undock, float, window. Which do you use? Oh, just drag the commit outside. Yeah, so now if I want that open, oh, now I have to switch between, oh, it just redocks it? Yeah, I'll probably just stick to what I was doing for that. So yeah, I don't know what was costing that. All right, well, it doesn't matter. All right, so we're done there. I don't know if we can do this. All right, generate. Probably have my custom tool call the generation functions from Godot. What is the order this needs to be done in? Just needs to be before message merge. Yeah. All right, so let's start a new thing here. So I want to set this back to high, and I want this to be in plan mode. Is there a way to call project settings, project settings, localization, template generation, generate? Godot's function from my localization tool. I want to be able to automate that step, but the proposal to add it natively hasn't been tackled yet. So I don't know enough about Godot to have done this myself. We did something like this, or I did something like this with Yarn Spinner, where I'm calling its functions. So like we have this yarn project thing. There are a whole bunch of buttons over here. You can't call these just from the command line. And part of the reason why is because it's relying on some Godot code. And even something as simple as like resolve this path, this particular path here, even that I think uses Godot code, which requires that the editor is running. Now, if that's all that we're doing is resolving a path, then yes, I could just write logic to change res into the absolute path on disk. But I think it's doing something else too, and I'm not totally sure what. So anyway, we end up injecting in a tool script and running a headless version of Godot. I wonder if we have to do that as well here. Like run headless Godot and then call into this. It should be doable as long as they're public functions. I don't know if Codex searches it, but Claude is clear about context size and usage. Filling up 200K of context happens surprisingly quickly. It probably does make it clear somewhere. But at least like I was saying, like I look at this from time to time, and if I saw that I used like 30% for some query that I expected to use 2% for, then yeah, I'd consider that a problem. But if I use, 2% when I expected to use 1%, that's not really a big deal. All right. Short answer was stock Godot 4.6. No, not cleanly. It ultimately calls internal editor side POT generation code. The generator is not exposed. Proposal you link says the same thing. Without exposing it, a script cannot call it. There's an open upstream PR, but it's still open as of May. When did this get opened? I didn't know there was an open PR. I didn't think I saw it listed. What? Oh, wow, from 2024. And what is this waiting on? Changes approved. What is this waiting on? Changed title 4 days ago. Interesting. Yeah, that's a $20 plan. Hey, for pre-show. Just typing to run headless Godot. Yeah, well, let's finish reading what this thing said. This repo specifically is already structured around that limitation. It automates yarn and C# get text extraction, but says to generate this in Godot first. This thing headless runner can run editor-backed yarn actions, but it cannot reach the POT generator. I see. Use a custom Godot build to generate POT PR, then wrap it. Wait for upstream, later add a command. Re-implement just enough scene extraction and localization tool, but that will be an approximation. GUI automation is technically possible. Oh, wow. This is actually a pretty good suggestion. Like, add it as though it exists, and until then, just print out a warning saying do this manually. Huh. That's pretty neat. Well, let me think about this. What actually would it take to write this tool ourselves? I don't probably want to do this, but if we open up a scene file and I don't know anything like yeah, title screen for Skeleseller, for example. So we have some string here like new game, right? We should text equals yeah, here we go. Story mode, bone mode. Okay. So yeah, so this should have an auto translate mode thing set. So we could search for all instances of text and then check to see if the auto translate mode, but I guess we need to know the inheritance structure for this. It would probably be incredibly tedious. Yeah. It's just in merge limbo. Yeah. But like, why? I wonder. When was this approved? Is there a timeline on this? Oh, wait, 2 pending reviews. But when was this approval given? Is there a time for this? I want to see when this happened. Man. Because I want to see if this was like 2 weeks ago, then yeah, it might get merged soon, and I might want to change my plan here. Yeah, I don't know how to see that, but there are 2 pending reviews. But they might not need them to review this. There's a review 7 months ago. Added enhancement, modified milestones. Mention this pull request. Wow, here it is. Approved in January. Okay, of last year. Never mind. So it's like a year and a half ago now. Okay, well, whatever. It's okay to have one manual step. Not so much the total usage, just want to avoid compaction, because if it ever happens, I might as well start over with a new conversation. Mm, I guess yeah, I guess I don't totally understand given your first message here. Spent the full token cost for that entire turn. Cash hit is minus 90% cost. Like, it sounds like this is just a cost thing originally. But anyway, the kind of question I was asking could have been a new conversation too. I'm not actually sure if Codex works the same way Claude does in that regard. Yeah. So, okay, I don't want to write something like this myself. I want to keep an eye on this, but I don't have any hopes that it gets merged anytime soon if this was approved like a year and a half ago. Is there any other conversation about what this is waiting on? No. Yeah. Gotcha. Okay. Gotcha. Caps up. Yeah. Does it show if you search for their name? Yeah, it would have. I didn't realize it was just that far up. I expected it to be more recent. But yeah, January 15, 2025. Okay, so problem, I can't automate generation of POT files from Godot. Workaround, click a single button. And then type a name and then hit save. I think we just do the workaround for now then, yeah. Have you considered having your own fork? Update upstream occasionally? I really don't like that idea. Especially when the thing prompting the idea is this minor. If let's say there was some like critical renderer issue or a crash or something, and I'm like, okay, I got to fork the engine and change some code, that might be worthwhile. Or if there were, 100 of these sorts of paper cuts, then maybe it's like, well, I'm getting enough value by doing that. But otherwise, I think maintaining my own fork would be very annoying. Because for something like this, where I'm just kind of merging in a PR, it's not too bad. But eventually, it's like you have your change. You need to merge in something from upstream, but you probably wouldn't understand enough of what happened upstream for you to be able to know how to merge it. You have to take the time out of your day to like understand it. Then you own any of the changes that are happening. So now if you ever come across a bug, you have to wonder, is this only because I forked the engine? Is it something that exists upstream? It feels like it's a huge hassle. A custom fork just for localization. Okay, that's kind of interesting. Yeah, I hadn't thought of that. Like we used a different engine that we bundled to the player. But still, I think I'm just going to manually do this for now. So yeah, I like this idea that's here. Yeah, implement your recommendation and changes from plan to detect, generate POT support. And until then, warn that this needs to be done manually before running whatever that thing is called. What is this thing called? Update all localizations. Whoops. Yeah, that should be pretty straightforward. I'm assuming if I were to do this myself, I would just run the Godot executable and then grep for generate POT. And if it exists, use it. If it doesn't, tell the user to click some buttons. Yeah. Sounds like someone who said their fingers burned by something similar before. I've done stuff like this in the past, and yeah, the less I have to deal with, the better. Actually, that's part of the reason I'm using a game engine in the first place. Like, think about this. You encounter a bug in your game. Even if you're using a stock game engine, like, it could be your game, and it could be the game engine. If it's the game engine and you're using someone else's engine, it's now their responsibility, which is a pro or a con, depending, right? Because they might fix it for you and then you're done and everything's just great. Or they might take 2 years and then fix it, or they may never fix it. So yeah, at least with Godot, it's open source, so you could fix it yourself, and then now you have to maintain the fork. Be only to have a headless runner for generating the files. Yeah. So that is possible. We could do that. I'd just rather not. Hey, diverse code. Or try to merge for 2 years. Yeah, or be in this situation. Yeah. All right, wire this new existing localization flow rather than inventing a separate path. All right, current source sync already fails if scenes.pot is missing. Add another step. Okay. About to edit the tool and its smoke tests. Main code change will be a small Godot pot generator. Yeah. I've only hit one genuine engine bug. Usually it's your own, but that one we never got a fix for and had to do a clinky workaround. I've hit a few things that it's hard to say sometimes whether something is a bug or a documentation problem. So like Godot doesn't work as I expect. So then I file a bug and they're like, oh yeah, this is actually working as expected. And we need to update the documentation. It's like, well, I might consider it an engine bug. But yeah, I have filed a bunch of issues. If we just search on the Godot repo, I don't think it's like a crazy amount. But if I just look for author me, yeah, I filed 17 issues in my time using Godot. And like some of them are bugs, some of them were probably even fixed. But yeah, then some were not bugs apparently. Making a popover versus using pre-built from a library. Yeah, and I think depending on what kind of maintenance burden you're taking on, either option could make sense. This is, I kind of joke that if you're ever doing tech interviews, the answer to every system design interview question is it depends. And it's true. There wouldn't be interviews if there was like one straightforward, you have to do it this way kind of solution. Because then it's just a question of like, do you know that solution? And that's kind of what the coding questions can be for. But for system design, it's like, well, how many customers do we have? What kind of latency do they expect? What kind of trade-offs are we willing to make? How much should the hardware cost behind all of this? Like, yeah, you design something based on the needs that you have. And I think it's the same thing with any of this. Like we could take on the responsibility of owning a fork. It's probably not worth it. All right, so I just want to make sure that whatever change we have here, so after the change is done, so add a note about, actually, let's just do this now. I have some updating the engine, right? I never added this? Oh, wow. Updating Godot.md. Yeah, I need this to be in here, in the docs folder, so we'll put it alongside sounds, I guess. And I'll just go add in a new doc, add file. Updating Godot.md. Add, yes, paste. Okay, so read through any Godot blog post, find breaking issues, update environment variables to point to new Godot, get new export templates, look through any breaking changes. Cool, yeah. Well, that sounds good. So issues. So this PR, or maybe we should say updates. This PR implements -- generate POT, which should make it so that we can fully automate localization changes. I want to write a little bit more, but I want this thing to finish. It is done now. Okay, out of curiosity, I think we started at, whoops. I think we started at 50%. Now we're at 40%. Yeah, we're fine. They are engineers, yeah. PR for virtual property override was opened a year ago. Still no progress. Yeah. Yeah, and Godot does not have like a bunch of resources. They're getting some money from some companies. They've got some people on staff, but it's not like it's, 400 developers working night and day. So I think the engine works pretty well. And I don't think there are any like major blockers to making the games I want to make. But yeah, I'm really wondering, what did Slay the Spire 2 do with Godot's engine? Because they forked it and then they changed a bunch of things apparently. And I don't think Slay the Spire 2 runs all that well, to be honest. Like, it lags a decent amount. As in the frame rates drop. Only an engineer can build one that barely stands. I'm not even sure anyone could build a bridge with infinite resources, unless you also mean human resources. In which case, yeah, they could probably just get a bridge builder to go build it for them. All right, so let's go take a look at the code that it generated. Generate Godot POT command. Yeah, so how's this work? This is the whole command that we have here. Reject Godot POT generation when it doesn't support it. This is for tests, right? Yeah. Here it is. Okay, so we run this with generate POT and just specify a path. What? So I guess we check the -- help to see if it contains, yeah, generate POT. Okay, that's good. Yeah, warn unsupported. Warning, this Godot build does not support generate POT. Generate manually with this. Yeah, sounds pretty reasonable. All right, so if we run this right now, it should warn us. I want to see what that warning looks like. Is it a different color? This does not inspire confidence right now. Why is this not doing anything? Huh. Okay, well, let's debug this then. So where is it? Yarn spinner converter. This doesn't even exist anymore. We'll call this localization tool run everything. All right, so what's it called? Localization tool. Probably rename this to. Then just call the run everything command. Update all localizations. We don't need to do anything else. Everything else should be fine here too. Project is not specified. What? Is there a... Oh, CS project file. Yeah. Invalid executable path. Could I just open what the path is supposed to be? Tools, localization, bin, and then where is it supposed to be in here? Debug, net, localization tool. Here it is. ID was unable to locate the following files. Well, I just selected it from a dialog. How can it not locate that? I'm just gonna click OK anyway. Did this thing make any progress? No. Whoops. Oh, what? The whole... Oh, that's fine. All right, so can I debug this? It's probably gonna complain. Yeah, invalid executable path. What? Huh. File path length? I don't think that should be a problem. Let's click the revert button. Oh, weird. Now it works. What was the difference? Okay, hold on. I want to see. There was that versus... I can't Command Z this to find out. Well, that's strange. I had just clicked it from here. ID was unable to locate. So yeah, what's the difference? Here's the... Oh, no, this is working now. They're the same. All right, I don't know. I don't know what happened. Yeah, let's just click debug. So it's going to get stuck somewhere, apparently. Cancel this. I don't need that. Game does not contain project.godot. What? It does. I think it can't find game. Like, I think the configuration needs to be run from here. And now we debug this. What? Cannot find Godot executable. Okay, we need to specify an environment variable now. Or restart this editor. Will that work? No, only if I restarted it from Z shell, right? All right, whatever. Let's just specify the environment variable then. Environment variables. Click this button. Definitely should not have clicked that button. Nothing private showed here, but no, I don't even have anything private in my environment. Okay. So Godot 4 exists, so then never mind. We probably can just restart this. So now we should have it working, hopefully. I just gotta wait for this button to light up. There. Does it work? Hey, nice. So it should work from the command line too now. It's not doing anything special. I want to see that warning though, and I don't see any colorful text except for this. So it probably did warn me, and it's just not obvious. What? Hold on a second. Where is that? Generate POT. Shouldn't this print out? God, it's annoying. Yeah, it does print out. Why didn't I see it print out then? Where's that go? Oh, there it is. Oh, it's like the very first line? Oh, I think I ignored that because I'm so used to ignoring when warnings show at the beginning because they're usually from Godot. Yeah, so it doesn't show in a different color. Yeah, let's just add in an exclamation mark then. There. Okay. Did just ignore warning, did you? Yeah. Probably. All right, so now we try running it from here. It should do the exact same thing, right? But now we have the exclamation mark emoji. Yeah. Okay, cool. All right, let's go check that in. After the change is done, add a note about. What? I think it was supposed to be in this. Yeah. So this PR implements generate POT, which should make it so that we can fully automate localization changes. I had if it works as expected, then we shouldn't have to do anything. We can just run the localization tool and it will now call generation automatically. If that works, then great. Delete this line of text. If not, fix it. There. Hey, know that. Hey, Mr. D-Boy. How's it going? Congrats on the humble bundle. Sure, whatever. I'll put a comma there. I don't care. All right. So scripts.pot changed. I don't actually want this to change. Program. I already looked at this briefly. I don't want to look at this more in depth. All it does is produce a warning right now. Yeah, add updating Godot. This is all fine. Cool. So add what's the word for, I guess, like preemptive? Generate POT code. This doesn't actually exist in Godot yet. Where's that PR? Here. We're waiting for this PR. Once that's in though, this code should just work. Until then, the button will have to be clicked manually. Great. So commit that. All right, what is next? Set all this stuff up on Weblate. Yeah, this process could be tedious. Console.foreground color or background color. Oh, interesting. I didn't know that that existed built in. I was using something called Spectre, and that makes colors work pretty well. Console.foreground color. Oh, interesting. Yeah, I didn't realize. Oh. Good to know. Fix the issue with X. This happened because, yeah, then nothing else. All right. Could I do the Weblate stuff on stream? It might be tough. I'd also like to update Weblate, and I also need to make sure that nothing else has been changed in here because I didn't want to update this translation. I should definitely tell history. When was this last modified? That was me modifying it. Okay, good. There should be nothing after this. And I should probably ping Draco about this. Ping that if he ever modifies the Japanese text to message me about it, I won't just see it and don't have plans to update it. I don't expect him to do this, but I did see some changes the day after we said everything was done. Yeah. All right. Yeah, Weblate. We got to go figure this out. Oh, you know what I want to do? I should have this running on my machine right now. I want to see if I can upload a screenshot to any of these strings and just paste, because that did not work and it was so frustrating. So there's add screenshot. Yeah, there it is. All right, I'm doing this for my own sake right now. I want to find out where they fixed this. Paste from clipboard. Is there an issue? Here, Weblate issues. Yeah, issue. They must have recently closed something. Whoops. I didn't mean to click that. Paste from clipboard. I just want to see what the problem was. Should be a closed issue. And should be something they fixed pretty recently. This is 2025. When did I set this up? I think it was November. This was October. Wait, when was it fixed though? August. April. What date was actually when this showed up? Closed in 2024. Where did I see 2025? Updated on. Okay, sure. I'm pretty certain this was fixed recently. Nah, I don't see it here. Is there a Weblate changelog? Releases? What version am I on? What is this? How do I even check that? About? Hang on, let me do this off screen. I don't know what's going to show. Okay, I'm on Weblate 5.15.1. And what are they up to? Let me close all my tabs here. My Weblate is this. They are on... Did they change their versioning to date? 5.17.1. Did they change their versioning? These have 5.17 in the name. This is 5.17. Then they changed their versioning. Huh, that's strange. Now uses calendar versioning for releases. See release cycle. Okay, so they had 5.17.1 and now what would have been 5.17.2, I'm guessing. But they changed their versioning. I want to update Weblate. I don't know what major changes we're going to get, so I do need to read through this a little bit. 5, wow. They've been through a lot, haven't they? 5.15.1. So I got the one in December 18th. December 18th, 2025. Please follow generic upgrade instructions to perform update. To make the fix for this effective, always look for new changes. Once all requirements are installed, make sure your settings output matches the changes in the configuration. Oh boy. Oh boy. This is probably not going to be easy, is it? Yeah, I don't think this is going to be easy. Is there any reason to do this rather than use their Docker images? I am using their Docker images, but we have the Weblate database underneath that we need to migrate. Excuse me. So like whatever they're using to store screenshots, comments, etc., like that's detached from the Docker image as a volume. And yeah, I don't know what all this stuff is. Collect updated static files. Like I probably need to do this still. Compress JavaScript and CSS. If you're running an installation from Git, I'm not. Verify your setup is sane. Check dash dash deploy. Changed in version 5. Oh boy. All right, all right. How about we start with something pretty basic here? How do I get a backup of this? Because I don't want to lose anything. Go to your project, operations, backups, trigger backup. Okay. Projects, operations, backups, trigger. All right. Well, let's let that run. And then read the rest of these instructions, I guess, and read this stuff too. Bug fixes. Translated, force no trigger. Okay, nothing here about pasting from clipboard. All right, next one. Upgrade, generic upgrade instructions. Fine. Reinjection, plural string, improve cache, gracefully handle this. No, they don't mention it there either. Also, I do kind of want to know about what new features they have. I should probably just read all this stuff. Statistics generator is triggered upon installation. Screenshots updated from the repository of proper history. Interesting. Okay. What improvement? Sounds good. Suggestions, new management command. Okay, sure. Just reading this pretty quickly. API, no, nothing interesting there. Oh, interesting. Okay, cool. Same thing here. Okay. Read more. Didn't even get to their bug fixes down here again. Do they have a paste from clipboard thing here? No, they don't. Compatibility. Upgrading. Several changes in settings example.py, most notably admin syntax. We run weblate in Docker and rely on IPv6 listeners. Outbound project links. Okay. And then we have the final change up here. No, this is not the final one. This is the second to last. Bug fixes, clipboard. No, any upgrade instructions, just generic upgrades. Seems like a horrendous upgrade path. I think it won't be very fun to do, but I hopefully will benefit from whatever the upgrades are. Man, they never mention this in here. And then what's this? Upgrades are only supported from the current or previous calendar year. Oh boy. All right. Well, let's update this. I mean, there's very little risk here. Scala Seller is already like fully translated, and I have no plans to translate other languages. And even if I do, they'd be new languages, so it wouldn't be a big deal. And I have the, well, I don't have the backup yet. I need to download it. There. All right, and then while I'm at it, let me go put this in the proper location on my own machine. Documents, Scala Seller, backups, weblate, paste. Okay, good. All right, so now I've got this. I can't possibly lose all my data. And then the translations are saved into Git anyway. So what I want to do is go update the Docker image and then I guess run this stuff. And there's some way to run weblate commands. Where is it? Here it is. If installed with Docker, you can run some commands directly in the container. So connect to it in a shell. Once inside, run weblate. Okay, let's SSH into my mini PC. And let's go figure out what in the world I'm doing here. So Docker following these steps. Let's do it together. Yeah. What's the IP? All right, clone the weblate Docker repo. CD into this. So I should have this somewhere on this machine, right? Code, weblate, weblate Docker, get remote -v. I clone this, right? Yeah, that probably shouldn't be there. All right, I'm going to go do something really fast here. Yeah. Let me do some stuff off screen here. So collaborators, use GitHub Mobile. Cool. And let's see. Manage SSH. Host key, special user. Where do I do this? Make a special user on GitHub. But oh, I'm in the wrong repo. Oh my god. I'm like, I know I messed something up here. All right, here we go. So Skeleseller web late. I'm gonna just delete this. Needs to be re-added with a proper token. All right. Where do I put this? I don't know. All right, engage privacy mode. Let me go pull in some data here. Remove this from the GitHub repo for Skeleseller to re-add after regenerating token. Okay. Cool. All right. I think I should do this off stream. And I want to get back to this afterward on stream. But yeah, it'd be me either being in privacy mode for the next like hour or me taking some time and doing this afterward. Whoops. Runs a privacy passover before sending out frames. You'd have to tell it what all of your secrets are that it should be monitoring for, though. That's the problem. Have you ever done it while in privacy mode? I mean, it can't be in the same scene. But if you're saying like I do that instead of showing my screen, then yeah, I could. But it's been 3 hours of streaming anyway. It's probably a good time to like take a break and set this up and get some food. Block it with a square or something till you realize. Imagine if it's delayed by like 1 frame. So every time a square shows up, it lets you know that you should go watch the VOD. Oh, to having to guess where they're at. Very likely the best move would just be to jump straight up a few times and then nothing else. Yeah, so this is what I'm thinking of doing at least. I think it's best to take a lunch break, update Weblate privately, then start the stream again and tackle the rest of this list. Just log out and let ads take over. You can still see the screen in like a thumbnail view though, right? Okay, so GitHub repo, Weblate, a whole bunch of notes and README stuff. Yeah, I'm thinking we're looking at another 2 hours for that. And then maybe another hour for some extra stuff. We might be able to finish this stuff today. There was a lot to it, that's for sure. But yeah, the Weblate things, I gotta do this off screen. I'm not certain how long it's gonna take. All right, well, here's what I'll do. I'll go raid somebody. It's about 11 a.m. for me. I'll try to be back by 1 p.m. That'll give me enough time to like eat and try to update Weblate and everything. Yeah. And then I'd like to stream for another like 2 to 3 hours. So yeah, it shouldn't be the end of the day. All right. I was hoping to read Cakes. The Cakes is not online. Wait a second. Is this who I think it is? It is who I think it is. Okay, I'm gonna raid my friend Dane. Yeah, he's playing Diablo 4. All right, let's go say hi. And I'll be back, like I said, another 2 to 3 hours. If you want, if you follow on Discord, it'll post a notification there. Okay, yeah. Thank you all for watching. Sorry that I got to take a break from this for now, but yeah, I hope to see you again. Have a good rest of your day. Have a good weekend if I don't see you. Take care. Bye.